What up,
everybody.
dog? What up, dog? Another Thursday. Y'all
Welcome.
here with us, Miss Lady Dimples, Mr.
Welcome to
Drummin.
Tantalizing Thursdays.
Welcome, welcome, welcome.
You could have
Another
been anywhere in the
Thursday.
world, but you chose to be here with us, and we are extremely thankful to you guys.
Yes, indeed. Thankful.
Extremely. Thank you for being
Extremely.
here.
You
Come on
know.
in. Come on in. Join
Roll
in on the
up.
chat.
Get you some wine, some juice, some Kool-Aid.
Whatever
Sit
floats
back,
your boat.
put your feet up, and kick it with us on Tantalizing Thursday tonight. What's happening, sis? What you been into this week?
Well, this week, due to the fact that I'm a money girl, I've been involved in money. I've been knee deep in money due to my
Hey,
job. That's why had missed a couple of weeks, y'all. I missed y'all so much.
you
I
know,
missed y'all. I
well,
did.
we missed you too,
I had to
you
come back.
know, but we up in here.
Hey
Take
everybody.
Gunna,
Hey
Drea
Drea.
Lee,
Hey Gunner.
all the people in the chat.
Hey
Frankie,
Frankie.
love to see y'all in the chat kicking it with us on another Thursday. And
Absolutely.
this Thursday, though, well, it's gonna get a little deep. Courage after the trauma. You know, yeah.
So
Special
this is
guest.
gonna be a tantalizing thinking Thursday.
Taylor, special guest, special guest. One of my homies. You know what I'm saying? And it's just surprising to me. That this his story. You just man. You meet somebody and you just don't know their story. You know what I'm saying? Because this is one of the coolest cats. I'm gonna call him a cat. This one of the coolest cats. You ever want to meet. I tell you, man, he real cool and he real soft spoken until you give him a mic and then his voice be like, hey, hey, hey. The boy can blow. For real.
Oh
He can
yeah,
sing, you know what I'm saying? And you wouldn't know it because he's so soft spoken until you get a mic. He be like, hey, yeah.
that's
He be
what's up.
kicking
I'm
it,
excited to
you
meet
know.
him.
And he's
And
the
the name of his
co-author.
book, he's the co-author of Echoes, the stories of male survivors overcoming sexual trauma. And
Yeah,
I'm really looking forward to this. He's the owner of LJ's Kitchen. And I really looked forward to this topic tonight because there's so many men that go through traumatic experience such as this and they never address it. They live with that trauma. They're angry. You know, it causes so many problems. Some people are, I guess have the will to overcome it, and some people can't. And it's so sad that women are taken seriously when it comes to this thing, but men are, not taken seriously, or they're accused or blamed.
yeah. I mean that's true. Then
Hmm.
it's just crazy. How life is, and it's strange in those ways that you come up, and you living with people that in your mind you swear, these people love me. You know what I'm saying? And then it just turned into a nightmare. You know, I've never been through it, myself personally, and I just commend my man for even telling his story.
Absolutely.
To put it out there, to put it in a sense that men do go through this. It brings about a certain type of awareness. To start taking men seriously. If a young man tells you something like this, and just man, that whole awareness thing, just turns into a nightmare. That's a nightmare.
Yes, Frankie, you are so correct.
The
The
world we
world we
live
live
in don't
in.
show compassion to men. Oh, did you just say that, Frankie?
Yes, Frankie said that.
Ooh, Lord have
And that is
mercy.
true. That
If
is
that
very
ain't
true.
true, is and that's sad. It's
Yeah.
sad that men go through things that just basically get thrown. by the wayside. It's just, hey, you a man, you supposed to suck it up, you hard, this, that. No. We are all humans and we have all human being feelings. And even as a man, we have feelings. And those feelings can be hurt, traumatized, and can mentally fuck you up. Pardon my
Yes,
language, but it can. That can do damage to the mind. And it's just crazy, that, a man, a boy,
a child,
a child, has to endure not only sleeping nightmares, but
but
a
away from
predator's nightmare. That's crazy. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I commend him for putting this story out to bring that awareness to people to stop looking past us as men, and because we go through things that sometimes maybe, hey, we can't talk about.
yes.
You know,
And it's so sad. And I always say I'm a double minority because I'm black and I'm a woman. But my life will never be as hard as a black man's. And that's without trauma.
man.
So imagine with it.
But check, we gonna cut to this song that's befitting, "Broken but Healed" by Jayana.
Used to cry myself to sleep at night. Nothing that I did feel right. Something in my mind is screwed tight. Had to tell myself I'd be alright. Someone in the mirror that I couldn't recognize. Feeling so hard that I couldn't describe. Even had thoughts about suicide. Yeah, yeah. I'm broken. Fix this hole in my heart. Don't even know where to start. To have your whole world torn apart. Walking around lonely in the dark. I'm just trying to find my way. Oh, love would do me this way. I need to escape, yeah. Find a happy place, but it's hard 'cause I'm broken. But I'm healing. But I'm healing. Yeah. I'm broken. But I'm healing. But I'm healing. Healing. Yeah.
I
Yeah,
like that. That's
yeah,
nice,
Jayana.
Jayana.
Yeah,
Broken, but I'm
broken,
healing.
but I'm healing.
I
And that's
like
kind of
that.
like the fitting for the story tonight. You know what I'm saying? Courage
Yes,
after the trauma. You can be broken, but there is a
but you
healing.
can heal.
And in that, we gonna bring on my main man, James Taylor. My brother,
Welcome, welcome to the
my brother,
show.
my brother, my brother, my brother.
How you
What's
doing?
happening? Welcome to the show.
Thank
This
you.
just ain't just a show for me. You my mans. You've been my mans for a long, long time, man. Been playing
Yes.
them drums and playing behind your music at the church. And hey, man, welcome, 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 man. I'm glad to see you, man.
I'm happy
How
that
you
this
doing?
I'm just happy that you're here and happy that this is being talked about. I want to give you kudos for your courage
Yes,
because it's going to help so many people, so many men that have held these things in all of their life, and you're bringing yours to the forefront. I think this is going to help so many people, and I thank you for sharing your story.
Thank you.
man. So to get started, just to get started, just as the banner just popped up, I was gonna say, get an audience a little about you. Tell us about yourself. Get them acquainted with you.
Well, my name is James Taylor. I am one of the co-authors of the book called Echoes. I am so grateful for my brother Robert Marshall that a couple of years ago God placed it in his heart, to do this book, and thank God that he wasn't selfish to only do this book for himself, but he decided to get a group of men. And we all shared our experiences and our stories in this book called Echoes. And I pray that it will bless somebody's life. And it is, and it has blessed so many people. And I just pray that on this live, that somebody will get, the healing that they need and the information that they need. And I am the owner of LJ's Kitchen, me and my wife. We've been going at it about a year, maybe a year and a half now. I'm blessed to have that. Be glad when I have my own restaurant. And that's what I'm working towards now, to have my own restaurant and just do what God has called me to do with these hands right here.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. So sis, go ahead. We're gonna start off with you. We're gonna let you talk to him first.
Well, again, it's lovely to meet you.
Hmm.
And I want to know, what is it that inspired you to tell your story? Like someone approached you and wanted you to do it, but what inspired you to actually tell the story?
Actually, well, let me start off by saying this. I was following this guy by the name of Pastor Carlton Wright, and he would send me information in his email about his family and about the molestation and rape that he'd been through and stuff like that. And then so Robert Marshall had got in contact with me and emailed me, and he shared his story. And then from there, um, I was part of the book Echoes. And I think one of the main reasons for me why I shared my story in church one day, and I was ministering or what have you, and this little boy that went to our church, he ended up getting baptized. He wanted to get baptized. I'm like, okay, God, maybe I'm doing something right here, and and that made my heart smile. And I just want to be an encourager for everybody, and I just pray that this book, will bless somebody, that has been molested, has been raped, and it's been a journey. It really has been a journey. Um, just going through the whole process of reading the book and sharing my story.
And it's so, you know, taboo because in the Black community, this is something that has gone on for a very long time.
Mm-hmm.
And the church is no exception, you know. So this is something that has gone on for a long time. And Black men are taught to be strong, be quiet, don't cry, don't show your emotions, don't, you are hard and you are strong in the face of this entire world with everything that's on your back.
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of sad to me that a young male child can't come forward as a young male child, because he's not going to be believed, or he's going to be ostracized, or he's going to be blamed
And judged.
and judged. So I want to know, did you experience any of that?
Well, let me say this. In the Black community, as we always has been told, what goes on in this house stays in this house. And, dealing with the situation I dealt with, that's not healthy. There's a lot of things that goes on in our Black community homes, and not only Black community homes, but all homes
Mm-hmm.
that people go through. but the child is afraid to speak up or to say anything about it, because like for me, I didn't speak up or speak out, and being nervous and scared um, about that.
But being a child,
Hmm.
what other way really is there to be? Because you can't be courageous and brave,
Hmm.
because you're a child, so that's why I'm saying, not only do you live the nightmares in your dreams when you go to sleep, you live in the nightmares of somebody, you know preying on you,
Yeah.
and you can't defend yourself as a child, that pardon my language, but that shit is monstrous. You hear me?
Hmm.
you
And
know
it's crazy that you say that. The guy that my mom used to date, because everybody knew I love wrestling and still do. I'm a wrestling fanatic, and he would buy me like games, wrestling games, and buy me game systems and stuff like that. So looking back then, that was his way of grooming me into wanting to
right.
with me. And it's just crazy how. Let me say this, for the parents or anybody that's watching: if you have children, pay attention to your surroundings. I don't
Thank
care
you.
if your family. I don't care who you are. Pay attention to your surroundings and what your children um, is doing,
Yeah.
because you don't know what's going on behind closed doors. You might think
Yes.
it's a family friend, or he's a family member. It don't matter. It does not matter. It happened to me. It can happen to anybody.
Well, I got a question. What was the hardest part about telling your story?
Um, Actually, one day my wife and I, we've been together since high school, since Amherst. But anyways, one day I came home from school and we was outside on the porch and we were talking, and my wife, well, my girlfriend at the time, but she was like, "Has anybody ever touched you? And has anybody ever did anything to you?" So I'm playing it off like, "Okay, what you trying to get at? What you saying?" And she said, "Well, have you ever been raped or molested?" I said, "Yes." She said, "Well, I'm going to go tell your mom." I said, "No, don't tell her that. Because it's pointless now, because it's it was already done and over with. He did what
Right.
he did. What's the point of it?"
Right.
So the next day, my wife had told my wife. I came home from school and my mom called me in, and we sat down and talked, and I already knew what the situation was. And so she she wanted to know what happened, and as I'm going in detail and telling her what happened, just this disgusted look that she had on her face, not because that I did anything wrong, which I didn't, is because here it is, she had been dating this man for years and has known this man for years and couldn't believe um, that he was capable of doing something like that. And so we went down to the police station and made a report and had a couple witnesses and stuff like that. And I'm thinking maybe they got him, he in jail and stuff like that. But it wasn't the case
Hmm.
at all.
So he just free as a bird, basically.
Mm-hmm.
See, right there, this is where I say, I had to say you my man's, because in a situation such as, I have to be honest, to say that I probably would have done something that I know I shouldn't have done. I have to say it, be honest, because it's touchy. It's
Mm-hmm.
touchy. I done got older now, and I can't see you. I can't see
Mm-hmm.
right, like right now. Just listening to it, that hurt my feelings, because I've never been through it.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just to imagine, to imagine. I Right now it's like an angriness. Just I can imagine, and then to see you. Now I'm not gonna say, oh, I'm gonna take his life. Oh no, but I may put some hands on you that maybe you should have got back then. I'm gonna whoop you like your mama should have, because she should have taught you something.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me, people, but that's
It's
angry. That's crazy.
funny that you say that, because I was in a season of my life where can we just be real tonight?
Just be real.
Um,
This is what this show all
Please be
about,
real.
baby.
Please be real.
so I got to the point in my life, or a season of my point in my life, that I wanted to kill him. I really did. And if I couldn't kill him, I wanted somebody to do it for me. But I couldn't have the blood on my hands or anybody else's hands. That's the trauma.
Right.
Mhm.
that you have that you live with. It's definitely not easy when you keep reliving the same thing that
Yeah.
you're trying to get delivered and healed from.
Yes.
Right. Right.
And the place
Frank,
that I work,
hold on.
we
One
deal
second,
with.
sis. One second,
Uh,
sis. Frankie say, how do you handle the healing process? And is this a forever open wound that will never heal? And have you ever confronted the person who victimized you? The three questions. My bad,
Um,
sis. I didn't mean to cut you off.
oh, I didn't see it. That's what. Yeah.
Number one, the first question is how do you handle the process? How you handle the process is you have to ask God to hear your heart
Facts.
and ask God to show you how to forgive the person. And is it a forever open wound? Um, I wouldn't necessarily say it's a forever open wound, but sometimes certain things or certain people can trigger your past trauma.
Yeah. Yeah. Fact.
What was the third question?
Have you
Have
ever
you ever
confronted
confronted the
the
person?
person who victimized you?
Um, you know what? I can't call her name or his name out, but I had somebody that I knew that we went to the same church establishment, and I knew her family, her kids, and stuff like that, and knew his mother. The guy that molested me, I knew his mother, and so I had contacted the person that I went to church with, and they were like, hey, do you know such and such? And she said, yeah, that's dad, and this is my such and such, this is my sister, and stuff like that. So here it is. I'm putting two and two together. Come to find they all family and stuff like that. And so I ended up telling her, the lady I went to church with, about what happened. So then the lady I went to church with ended up telling her sister, which is the guy that molested me, is his daughter. And so from there it just went downhill.
Mm.
It just went downhill from there. I talked to the daughter. I was trying not to disguise it as if it was me. I was just asking her questions and stuff like that. And so eventually, she ended up catching on who it was, and it was me.
Mm-hmm.
Just the disrespect I got. Stuff like you wanted it, you loved it, you was gay, and stuff like that. And at that time, I was 9 or 10. How you gonna tell a 9 or 10-year-old that they like being raped and like being molested and knew that you wanted it and stuff like that? But no, to answer this question, I never confronted him. Last time I checked, that he was in the hospital, not the hospital. He was in a nursing home, and I wanted to go see him. And I thank God that nobody gave me information to where he was, because they're not telling what happened if I went to go see him. And then I did want to go to his funeral, but didn't go because I didn't know what I might have done. Didn't want a confrontation between me and his family at the funeral. So I never confronted him, and I wouldn't know what I would do if I did.
That's deep. That's
Yeah.
real deep. That's real deep.
Because the place that I work, we deal with the vulnerable population. So like the homeless and people who've gone through violent traumas and stuff, violent situations. And we learned about what they call complex or compound traumas, and how you have like regular trauma, as they call it, or like first step trauma, where it's something that just happens once but is so traumatic that it affects the way that you live the rest of your life. But when you endure something over and over again, it makes it continuously like a bad dream. And it's hard to overcome it until you get older, because your way of dealing with it is pushing it away, not thinking about it. And you think it doesn't affect you, but it really affects every decision and every step you make past that point. You might become an overprotective parent. My kids go nowhere if I ain't there. Like, period. If I ain't there, my kids ain't going. It affects every decision you make. And as a Black man, it really is heart-wrenching for me, because like I say, I know what you carry every day, just walking outside the door. You know what I mean? And to have that as your introduction to the world, to steal your innocence at that age, it's very sad. And I wish he was here to watch this podcast
I'm trying to tell
and
you,
see
but
that
check,
how you turned his
man.
bad decisions
Mm-hmm.
into a great decision for you.
But check, we gonna get into this. We just gonna take a quick break. We just gonna get into Late Night by Gully G. Q.
All right.
Oh, no. Can you wait till you think about it? Come see me. Listen. Late night, time to close my eyes, but I'm thinking, why am I wide awake? I need you to come to me. Telepathically, I'm sending you messages. I really need to feel your body next to mine. I can't wait, it's been a long time. You just touched down in the city that I reside in. Did I fail to mention that you're better than the last? But you really need to be my first. So why did me tonight? And I need you here to feed this urge. Oh, that feeling. I hope that you can feel it. Need you to come inside my love. So show me all the love you got. Show me how you feel about me. Need you to come inside my love. I can't wait till we come back to earth. 'Cause right now with you is exhilarating. I need you with me 24/7, 365 days a week. I can't explain the way that I feel just having you near me, baby. I'm coming up and bringing you to, 'cause you know when I ride, you ride too. Yeah, you're better than my last. But you really need to be my first. So why did me deny that? I need you here to feel this urge. And I get the feeling, I know you can feel it. Hope that you can get with it. Yeah. I need you to come inside my love. So show me all the love you got. Show me how you feel about me. Yeah. Need you to come inside my love. You're better than the rest, but you really need to be my first. I need you to come inside my Shouts out to Sales.
That was my
And
main
we're back.
man. Gully GQ, Detroit Soul and drop in there late night, cause it's a late night.
And we're back with our friend, Mr. James
Special
Taylor.
guest, Mr. James Taylor, of course, from Fort Wayne, Indiana, of course.
Speaking on surviving sexual trauma as a young man. Feel free to call in and ask Mr. Taylor some questions as well. We got a
If you
call in number.
if you feel like it, feel free. He's on here,
It's
ready,
scrolling on
willing.
the bottom of the screen.
Yes, indeed. 313-314-0265. That's only if you want to talk to our special guest, Mr. James Taylor, this evening.
Absolutely.
So,
So, go ahead, bro.
oh, go ahead, sis.
So, looking forward, what are some things that you want to achieve with telling your story and your, being a part of this book?
Um, I guess one of the things I would like to achieve is to see people get healed um, from their trauma, whether it's the past trauma or their trauma from now. Um, love to see people set free.
Speak your words.
And stop believing in the stigma. Stop believing in, what goes on in this house stays in this house.
Yes,
Believe your kids.
Um,
Believe your kids.
man,
absolutely.
I got three right here in the house with me, and I dare not tell them that. Tell me everything I need to know. I need to know. I'll say it one more
Yes.
time. I need to know.
Has
Even my older
anyone
kids. Oh, go ahead, sis.
has anyone ever personally came to you and told you their story?
Um, I had talked to a guy that's a part of the Echoes group or Survivors group,
Mhm.
and he was just basically going through some things and needed some words of encouragement, and he informed me of some things that happened to him, and and stuff like that, and I told him that you got to keep a positive mind and mindset. You know, you got to keep your mind from pondering on things that your mind shouldn't be on. Keep yourself
Yeah.
active. Keep your mind
That's
active.
facts. That's facts. And when it comes to the healing, basically, it is believe it's gonna be hard to
Hmm.
to really to get to the healing. But my dad told me something. Example of I used to smoke cigarettes,
Hmm.
and I just remember my dad always used to say, in order to come to that solution of the
Hmm.
fact of you are addicted. You are addicted. I was addicted to cigarettes. He said you have to first tell yourself that you are addicted to cigarettes in order to first start that healing process. You
Absolutely.
have to come to that common knowledge of this is what it is. This is the truth about what it is. Now I can heal because I know it's okay. I lost my mom, and that triggered crying in me. I didn't cry a lot, but that to me was traumatizing.
Hmm.
To me, it was. I wasn't ready, you know. And when she left, it traumatized me, and it broke a crying in me. Like I get emotional just talking about my mom, so I know how that is. That trauma is something different,
Hmm.
because you hold anger, but then you hold humbleness, then you hold sorrow, and it's so many different phases that you go through. You don't know what you're going through,
Hmm.
and that's just how it was. It triggered crying in me, and I think because it says crying cleanses the soul, I needed my soul cleansed. You know, it's always reasons behind the things that happen. Maybe I needed a soul cleansing. I needed it because I cry now. And the slightest thing, I could be watching a movie and it could be so touching that I cry now. When I used to be like, oh well, whatever that was. Now it's touching. Like,
Mm-hmm.
man, what happened there? But that was traumatizing to me. So I understand the trauma, even though it wasn't that type of trauma. It still messed up my head in a lot of ways. 21 years she been gone and it still mess with me. Like you say, it things that trigger it. It'll trigger it like that.
Yeah,
So
and speaking on that, I lost my mom back in 2013. My mom passed away. My son's birthday is September 17th, and she passed away on the 18th. And literally for 2.5 years, basically depressed. Um, then didn't get over my mother's death until 2.5 years. Like anything that I thought about my mom, I was wrecked. I was crying. It could be somebody that looked like my mom. I was
yeah,
crying. The perfume she used to smell, used to wear me. I was crying. Just even thinking about her, I would cry. Like my mom used to sit in the front of the church, the second pew. I wouldn't even sit up there, or I'll bust out start crying. Or like the music that my mom loved to listen to, like she loves her gospel, but she loved the Gladys Knight and
yeah,
Ron
man.
Isley Brothers and
Al Green.
Al Green
You hear me?
and,
Marvin, oh Marvin.
uh, and all of those good singers and stuff like that, and just remind me of her. And I would start crying, and just really missing her, because there's nothing like a mother's love. I don't care
Nothing.
what situation may have been between you and your mother, but there's nothing like your mother's love. And it's so gut wrenching when you hear that your mother is passing away. I'll never forget it.
Man.
um, my mom passed away. My sister had called me, and she said mom was gone. I said, what you mean she gone? And I had a nasty attitude just like that. I said, what you mean she gone? I said, they pulled the plug. And she said no, she wanted her own. And it was just so traumatizing, just to see all the tubes in her, and her
Yeah.
just laying there. And I remember going there into the room and just praying and asking God, not yet. And I would say, hey mom, it's me, Elder. Just wake up, move, do something. Let me know that you still here. But it
Right.
was time to go.
Mhm.
Even though the situation that she was in played a big role, a big part of her leaving early before it was her time, I feel like.
Right.
Mhm.
It was a question asked by somebody, and I think that question
Um,
was,
I think it said, "What are some of the things you do to stay
oh
active?
yeah,
What do
what
you
do
do
you
to
do to keep your
keep your
mind
mind
active?
active?"
My wife always say that when you die obituary, I think she said she's gonna have me Mr. Busybody, Mr. Active, or something like that. I'm always doing something on my phone. I'm either gardening or cleaning the house, doing the dishes, doing something to keep my mind, and listen to praise and worship, listen to music,
Right.
something for the kids, something to keep my mind, active, and so my mind won't go back into
Mhm.
past trauma.
Yeah, you gotta keep it active because if it ain't active, it's the devil's playground. Trust and
Hmm.
believe that. So you gotta stay active, so that we done been through, the trauma. Let's talk about the courage. What was the courage? What brought you through that? Come on with it. What really brought you through? We know God brought you through. We
Hmm.
know that. But what brought you through it? What brought you on through?
Um, well, let me say this before I answer that. To anybody maybe watching, especially my family and stuff like this, I don't want anyone to feel like that I'm being disrespectful of my mother because she's no longer here and stuff like that. Just speaking my truth and keeping it all very real. I think for me, I had to go back and realize some things that my mother was addicted to crack cocaine. and that was her choice of drugs,
Yeah.
and she had dealt with sexual trauma as well, and so
Mm.
when your mother has gone through something like that,
Hmm.
and she feels like that drugs is the only way to escape, you
Right.
know, you tell that person is in pain. But just knowing I guess the back history of why my mother did the things that she did and why the choices that she made. But fast forward to all that. But what I miss God, having a good and personal relationship with Him, got me through. Reading my Bible, being around people that's positive, being around people that's gonna uplift you when you're down.
Yeah.
Oh
It's
yeah.
gonna be there for you. Put
Yeah.
life, speak life into you, and being
Um,
around other people.
happy people.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm about to say, like me going through some traumatic experiences that I went through, not gonna say growing up, it's like my childhood wasn't bad, but stuff happens. So, going
Right.
through some traumatic experiences, what helped me was to understand the why. You
Hmm.
know, like I had to realize my dad never talked about his childhood.
Right.
Like when we were kids, my father never talked about his childhood. Like we got snippets,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
like little pieces here and there, but he never talked about his childhood. And when I went to college, we had an assignment and was like, you got to fill out like your little family tree and like stuff about your parents and stuff like that. I had maybe 6 lines about my dad. And I had to realize, like, why I really didn't know anything about my dad prior to me. Like, you hear stories here and there, but like, my dad never talked about it. I had to call his twin sister because my dad passed. My dad passed 3 years after our mom.
Yeah.
I had to call his sister and like ask her about their childhood. And once I was able to understand what he went through as a child, I understood who he became as an adult.
Right.
Because you see, not saying that it's okay, not giving them an excuse, but I understand who he became as an adult.
Right. Because dad,
Because
he basically escaped home by going to the
going to the
military.
military,
Because his
and
dad was
was abusive.
very abusive.
Hmm.
So I
Physically.
can physically,
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
I to see where he went through his trauma.
Hmm.
Because when, like you say, your mom chose the crack
Mm-hmm.
to overcome the pain, he
Hmm.
chose the military.
Hmm.
You know, and
And
from
then
there,
that just
yeah,
compounded on top of, because when you don't know, but when he went into the military, it was Vietnam.
yeah,
So he went into war.
war,
So,
yeah,
you go into war. So now you have your childhood traumas. Now you have a military trauma. Then you come home, you have no money, you have
oh
nothing,
man, his
like
dad spent every dime he
all
sent
this
on.
money.
He was supposed
So,
to have been saving it, and he spent
and they
every
spent
dime.
all his
Yeah,
money. So he had no money. He had nothing. And then now you are expected to live. So my dad was a genius. So my dad learned everything he could. My dad
yeah.
could fix anything from a bike tire to a satellite. Like my dad was an incredible
He was
genius,
exactly 2 points that
incredible,
of a genius.
incredible smart man.
Yeah,
But I understand what you mean, because when you understand like where they come from, you
Mm-hmm.
understand why they are the way they are as adults. You
Yeah.
really do understand it, and it's not giving them an excuse, but really they didn't know any better.
yeah.
They
We
didn't know
had
any
one
better.
other question
That's
for
it.
him. Somebody asked, "How are you with your kids?"
How are you with your
Uh,
kids?
what you mean? What do you mean? How am I with my kids? Like,
Elaborate on how are you with your kids, Miss Dominique Tierra. Probably on did the trauma, does it affect the way you raise them and stuff like that? You know, I think she might be going there. Like, does it affect the raising of your children?
Overprotective or
Are
anything
you
like
overprotective?
Sometimes I can be overprotective. I think so. Like, I don't let my children go to any and everybody's house, whether it's family or not.
Right.
oh, more cautious with
And if I do, I'm there with them. My eyes is always on them.
Yeah, I feel that. That it makes you that way.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel that. Because you can't be no other way. If you was, then I would consider it a little strange that you wouldn't be
Yeah.
overprotective. You know, like, hey, I don't want them to go nowhere. They mine, they here, and
Mhm.
I know what's going on because
and,
the one thing that I know is
Mhm.
that I ain't doing that shit. Pardon my
Yeah.
language. I
And
ain't doing it.
also, not only that, but also the music that they listen to, TV shows and movies that they watch as well. Because
That
it's a
plays
lot
a
of stuff
part.
getting
Yes.
your ear gate and your eyesight that they shouldn't see and hear.
absolutely.
Yeah, because as your kids, their brains are sponges. And
They absorb everything.
yeah, they soaking it in. The more you let them watch it, they soaking it in. The more, the more, the more.
Absolutely.
So
I know you can't save them from everything in the world and stuff like that. Of course they're gonna be around their peers and the peer pressure and and stuff like that. But long as you in their presence, they in your presence, you can do what you need to do.
yeah. And last but not least, let us know about LJ's
LJ's kitchen.
kitchen.
Because we want some girl.
Well, I think it started like in middle school, or even before then. Cooking was my passion. I remember my mom, she would cook all the time in the kitchen, and my grandmother. My grandmother stayed cooking in the kitchen. It didn't matter what time of day, whether it was early mornings, afternoons, and night. She stayed in the kitchen, just learning from them and, and eating as well.
Yes,
And
indeed.
that became one of my passions, cooking. And that's what I do now. I work in a nursing home and I cook, from a residence, and I love doing it. It's just when I cook it, that's my piece.
So where can you be found? Tell them all about your platforms, your social media.
Okay, well we are on Facebook. We're on Facebook called LJ's Kitchen. We do have our LLC, so we do that. So I want to either get a building or a food truck. We really haven't decided, which one we wanted to do. But every time I, say that I have my own business, they ask you got a food truck? Are you gonna do a food truck? So I don't know. If there's some guys who have a food truck, we'll do that.
Well, I'm
Oh
going to say
yeah.
food truck because we live in the D. So, we
We
do a
gonna have
little
to come down
event,
here and
you know,
ride through the city and
we
let us
do a little
taste
event.
all that goodness on your truck.
So you can pull up in the truck, pop LJ's kitchen open, and let's get it cracking.
Yeah, let's get it.
So I'm
Crack.
gonna vote for the truck.
Truck, huh?
Truck.
Yeah.
Let's see. Oh, she said truck too.
Yep. Do the food truck. Yep.
Look,
Yeah.
food truck.
Another one, food truck. Chime in and tell them, yes, bring
Yes,
some food
bring
to
the food
Detroit.
to Detroit.
See, you already got Detroiters wanting it. There would be so many festivals he could be a part of. They let
The
you
whole
know.
summer.
They let you know. And the summer coming. And we
Yes.
do
Yes.
have festival after festival
Every
after
weekend.
festival every weekend.
Every weekend we got jazz.
So LJ's
fest,
Kitchen ain't got no
pride.
reason to not be making no money.
Yes.
You say, yes, LJ, mama was always in the kitchen.
In the
I
kitchen.
love you so
Always
much. I need some banana pudding.
I got you.
Okay, so
We got you.
is the pudding made with pudding or is it homemade?
It's homemade.
So, see, when
See,
we
you gotta
say
keep it
homemade, see, we use pet milk.
Or condensed milk.
Mm-hmm. That's what we use condensed milk.
Oh,
Okay. Yep.
yes.
Thank you.
Yes, bring the
Oh.
banana pudding.
Look,
Tell
my wife says-
wifey.
Secret. Hello,
Let two
missus.
families. Yes.
Yeah, you got to put some jars in there and come on up here and let us get on down.
Yes, the clap, TT.
Say not scratch, but we got our secrets.
Honey.
I feel you. I
I know
feel you.
that's right. Yes. I'm
So you've been
telling you.
telling all the secrets now, James.
I ain't gonna say no more. I promise I won't.
Don't you
So
say
I
no
got
more.
one
He ain't
more
gonna say
question.
nothing else.
Go ahead.
So I got one more question. So, due to the fact that your wife stood up for you when you couldn't stand up for yourself, is that why you married her?
Well, my wife and I've been together for 13 years. We've been married for 8. So that's one of the reasons. Yes.
Because I just think that's so sweet. She was like, I'm telling. I'm telling. I don't care. I'm telling. I just think that is so
Yes.
sweet. That would have been me. Hey, Miss Taylor, get him. I just think that is
one of the
so
reasons.
sweet.
Yeah.
Yes. Thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you for having me.
It has been
Yes,
such a pleasure. We look forward to you guys coming. We really do. I'm really looking forward to you guys coming up here now.
Bring the truck. Cause see, I know them, and I know the sweet couple story. You know what I'm saying? Shit, you know. So my man, I'm telling you.
She say tattletale. I know that's right.
How sweet and soft spoken he is.
Yeah.
Let him get on the mic, and I swear to Barry White to come up out of him.
Well, our family is trying to put together a gospel concert as well. So feel free, we can put you on the dossier.
Down there?
I don't know yet. I have to get with my cousin and her husband. They are a pastor and first lady, so we're gonna get together and plan it. But we are definitely going to do that. So we will definitely let you know the deets of that too.
Blow y'all away.
Yes, indeed. She chatting. She like my husband on the show.
I know that's right. Let my husband be on the show. I'm gonna chat too and be on the thing.
For real. Man, I'm just glad that you overcame the trauma and you had the courage to move on without doing nothing that was really, really crazy. It ended up in jail or anything like that. You know, I'm just glad to see you the author. You know, that proves more. You know, that proves more. You know, you are author, you are a cook, got your own kitchen, LLC. That mean, let me look in the camera. That mean legit. You know, and I'm proud of that, you know, because a lot of people that type of the story, it would have took them under, and I know a lot of people that done went under behind that, you know. So I'm just happy that you had that courage to move on and move on positively.
Yes.
And I'll be back down there to beat some drums soon.
And thank you so much for being here, James.
Oh, thank you. Thank you guys for having me.
And please check out LJ's Kitchen.
Yes.
And make sure you get it. Look up
all
that book.
Y'all in Fort Wayne. All y'all in Fort Wayne. Y'all know this guy. He got a book out and he got a kitchen. Support Black owned business. Echoes. You see it. You see it. The stories of male survivors overcoming sexual trauma.
Yes. So thank you, James.
Thank you so much.
Support. Go support them, Fort Wayne. That's all they need is y'all support. Step out and support. Even people here in Detroit, go get his book. Y'all read everything else. Go get his book. Read his book too. That way you can help your children.
And make sure they
keep an eye on them and keep them out the streets.
Yes.
You know, get his book. Go when you in Fort Wayne, go get something to eat. Mention Mr. Drummin, and you might get a discount. I ain't saying you will, but you might.
And also, I am having a book release and signing May 28th at 3 o'clock here in my church at 2317 Houghton Avenue, Fort Wayne, Indiana 46803.
Yes,
So, you know,
indeed.
Okay.
anybody want to come out, and be blessed and, eat good. Of course, I'm catering it, or we catering it. So, have great conversation and eat good.
I'm trying to tell you,
Awesome.
and meet the writer and author of his portion. You hear me?
Of course.
For real. Come on out and meet him. All four Wayne's supposed to be lined up around the corner, across the streets. It ain't standing room only. You hear me? Standing room only.
Yes.
Y'all heard it here first. Book release and signing. Get his name in your book too.
Hmm.
Stop playing with it,
Your
cause
personal autograph copy.
we don't play up here when it comes to the Tantalizing Thursdays. We get busy, sis.
Yes.
Matter of fact, no, Mr. Taylor, what's your final thoughts?
Yes.
Um, just pray and hope that somebody was, I guess, blessed on today, and I can't stress enough that when it comes to parents, really pay attention to your kids. Um, Pay attention to their behavior. If your child or your children's acting out, it's for a reason. You never know, because it could be because they got molested or being molested, could have got raped or being raped, being bullied. You know, just pay attention to their behavior. How they act around you, and also make it comfortable for your child to want to come talk to you. You know, make it comfortable for the relationship, the connection. There's so many times, as parents have broken relationships, connections with our children, and we don't even realize it. And they go seek attention from other people because they can't get it from us.
Facts,
Facts.
real facts.
And stop leaving your kid with any and everybody.
Anybody.
Facts, sis.
Stop leaving your kid with your boyfriend.
Whoo,
Stop
start there.
leaving your kids with your boyfriend that you just met 2 months ago.
Absolutely.
Stop leaving your kids with your neighbors. Stop leaving your kids with the people around the corner that you don't know, you ain't never met, you don't see. All you know is I'm going over Shay Shay house. You don't even know where Shay Shay stay. You got to go get Neek Neek to find out where Shay Shay stay.
Mm-hmm.
Kids don't ask to be brought here; they need guidance, and you as an adult guides them. It's not the parents' fault a lot of the time, but sometimes you should pay attention to your kids, talk to your kids, leave an open line of communication with your
Mm-hmm.
kid. There's a way to discipline, but there's also a way to be a parent and have an open line of communication so that child can come to you and tell you when something's wrong.
Absolutely.
Educate your children. Quit letting your kids walk around here stupid and no thinking what's on TV is what's real. Educate your children. Back when we was
Mm-hmm.
kids, everything was taboo. The parents didn't talk to you. They sent you to the class to scare the crap out of you. You didn't know what sex was. You thought you were gonna die if you touched a boy. you know, Teach your kids, educate your children, and make sure that they not out here walking around very naive and don't know what's going on. And you as a parent, pay attention. That's my final thought.
Absolutely.
And me, I just basically got to piggyback off of what both of them said. Man, watch your kids, man. That's important. For anybody to get their hands on your kid is because you, one, wasn't paying attention, and
Mm-hmm.
two, you wasn't watching the other person's hands. They say the hands is quicker than the eye, and if you ain't watching, evil hands be moving, you
Mm-hmm.
know, and you really have to be in your Bible, teaching your kids about who and what the Lord is. If you don't know, you need to find somebody to help both of you,
Mm-hmm.
because that is the end result, the first start, end result. Because the end result is that we trying to make it to heaven. And how can your kid make it to heaven if he don't even know where to start or she
Mm-hmm.
don't even know where to start? But you knew where to start and you never started. Even though you missed the bus, don't mean that they gotta miss it too,
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
you know. And them are my final thoughts, other than to say, smoke responsibly, drink responsibly, and this time, pay more attention to your kids so that they don't get traumatized in this life. Because, as my sister said, they didn't ask for this. They didn't ask for it.
Absolutely. We love y'all for joining.
We love y'all for joining. Thank everybody who was in the chat. Like, share, and subscribe. Tantalizing Thursdays. Y'all was kicking it with us. Thanks, James. Appreciate you.
Having me.
Yes. Yes, yes, yes. What a show, sis.
Yes. What a
What did you do to me? This is all new to me. I'm on the edge of your fingertips. You got one hell of a grip, can't even trip. You got me sucked in. I don't want anyone else. I feel compelled to give you loving. Anything around, ain't no way to fight it. You magnetize it. So heavy, I'm completely overwhelmed. When you drop your weight down, the crash is intense. I can't wait now. Can't take this suspense. No, nobody ever loved me like you do. Can't ignore this even if I wanted to. I'm right here as long as you cling to me. Can't stay away from this magnetic energy. I'm drawn to you like hold me closer with your hold me down like there's no escape, I need your I'm falling for you. Go lower and keep descending. Go slower. Throw me in, ride the wind. Get me through the air. I'll drag my fingers through your hair. Immobilized down my way. Tons of attraction, I don't care. You got me grounded. Stuck on you when I'm around it. All in my head now, I'm headed and bound. Totally captured and surrounded. And I'm moving toward you. Coming forward, coming for you. Coming for it, I get something for it. Don't nobody ever love me like you do. Can't ignore this even if I wanted to. I'm right here as long as you cling to me. Can't stay away from this magnetic energy. I'm drawn to you like hold me closer with your hold me down. There's no escape, I need your
we can describe gravity. We can say what it does to things. We can measure it, predict with it. But when you start asking, like, what it is, I don't know.
I'm drawn to you, gravity, gravity. I'm drawn to you like gravity, gravity. I'm drawn to you like I won't even pretend. The attraction is undeniable. No matter how much I struggle against this mysterious force, I can't stay away. It's time to relax. Have a good time. So just roll up and have a drink with your boy on Tantalizing Thursdays, featuring Lady Dimple.